6 months ago, I didn't know the difference between this disc and this disc. Now, in the present moment, I can identify hundreds of different discs, tell you what they do and how they're gonna react. Now, that isn't important, as in today's video, I'm gonna be going over 3 main topics as my perspective as a beginner getting into disc golf. Those 3 topics being distance drivers, leagues and tournaments, and why I've enjoyed the sport. And then at the end, I'll be going over my new current favorite disc. So make sure you stay to the end so you don't miss out on that. Now, I think we should go back to when I started way back in November. I actually do have my 3 discs that I started with. It was the Buzz, an Envy, and an Octane. Now this Octane is a 13 speed, and that brings me to my first point with distance drivers and my experience with them. Now, when I first started and when most people first start, what they don't tell you is you don't have the arm speed to throw a 13 speed. Now, if you don't know, all discs have a rating from 1 to 15, with 15 being the highest. Most beginners can maybe throw up to an 8 speed. And with this being a 13 speed, it was almost double what a beginner should be able to throw. So every time I throw it, it would go up and fade super hard to the left. And then I thought I found something out with the Scorch, as it is an 11 speed. It was a little bit lower speed, and I thought I could throw it fresh out of the gate as a beginner. And I was really let down when somebody told me that I did not have the power. Did not have the power to throw it, when in my mind I was like, oh, I can whip that. And so with distance drivers, I wish I would have disced down a couple to more fairway drivers as a beginner and worked on form, making sure that I am getting the correct flight path that the disc is supposed to give you. As almost every single disc as a beginner for me, if it was above a 10 speed, it would go out, catch the air, and boomerang right back down into the ground, and that's not what you want. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, I've been really experimenting with distance drivers the past couple of weeks, but I threw this Zeus right here, 430 feet, and that's in like 4 or 5 months. So finally clicked the form and the power together. So you can do it too if you are a beginner as well. But I just wish I would have disked down a little bit and worked on my form a little bit before thinking that I could throw a 12, 11, 13 speed. And then my second kind of experience would be playing in leagues and tournaments. Now, when I started, I had my brothers to play with, but I move around quite a bit and didn't really have any good groups to play with, and I thought it would be fun to join a couple leagues and tournaments. Now, on the league side of things, as a beginner, I've had really positive experiences and really negative experiences. A couple of the people took it way too seriously, and as a beginner, I'm not gonna make 40-foot putts every time. And so that is one thing that I think could be improved upon, is setting good expectations for leagues. And it could also be the people I was playing with, but other times that I was playing in leagues, had a really fun time. People were super helpful. It was just a good environment. And then I played in 2 different tournaments, and that was just an amazing, both of those were just an amazing experience. Everybody was super helpful. I was paired with some MA1 and MA2 people, some of the higher amateur leagues, and they were super helpful with picking discs out and with form and different things like that. So if you're a beginner, I would jump into tournaments relatively quickly, even if you feel like you're not ready. Definitely help me kind of lock in, and help me figure out what I need to fix and what I was already working on. Coming on to number 3, why I've enjoyed the sport and why I've almost played it every single day the past 4 months, give or take a couple days. It's a new challenge for me, and it's been super fun to test new discs, meet new people, and just really get outside and have some time out in nature, because I consider myself a pretty active person, but just being out in nature, going on hikes, I call it just hiking with some plastic, throwing some plastic around while I'm in the bushes. I've really enjoyed that, and just the learning curve too of, when I first started, 200 feet was difficult for me, and then 400 feet was difficult for me, and now I'm out here trying to get up to 450 and 500. But overall, I really love playing the sport, and I'm super excited to see where I can take this with you guys, telling you guys what I wish I knew, giving you tips and tricks and different things like that. So make sure, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. But now to go over my new current favorite disc. I probably have 50, 60 discs, which you would think would, you don't need that many, but you do. If you currently play disc golf a lot, you know what I'm talking about. But currently, I picked this disc up, the Evolution. This is like my first like Discmania disc that I personally purchased and not just got it from a used bin or something like that. It's the Enigma. I got it. It was out of a used bin, but if you can tell, this thing has been thrown 2 times. And doing some field work the other day. Let me get those lights real quick. Sweet, but I was out in the field and I was able to get this above 400 3 times in a row. And that's the first disc that I've ever been able to do that with. It just feels really nice in my hands, goes real straight. It gave me the confidence to throw over 400 feet. I'll keep you guys updated on what discs I'm using, but if you want me to make a video going over discs that I wish I used or wish I picked up sooner as a beginner, let me down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I enjoyed making it, sharing my experiences, and hope that you did too. But here are your free feet picks.